discoveries about aliens appearing on Earth that left scientists utterly stunned. Welcome everyone back to Enigmatic Echoes channel, where you can explore the universe right at home.
Be honest, have you ever been relaxing drinking tea, watching clouds drift by, and suddenly thought,
why is the universe so vast but we never see anyone visiting? Or if aliens really exist, do they eat rice, play lottery numbers, and brew tea like us? Actually, the topic of mysterious worlds beyond Earth has always been a favorite for exploration enthusiasts. However, despite hearing a lot, I bet no one dares to claim 100% what UFOs are or what aliens look like. But strangely, rumors occasionally surface about seeing hovering objects in the sky, discovering bizarre creatures unlike anyone, or objects that look like artifacts but aren't man-made. And even stranger, these cases often appear then vanish, leaving behind a series of unanswered questions. So ultimately, are aliens real or just products of rich imagination? Have they come to Earth yet? Or are they somewhere, watching our YouTube without us knowing? If you're also wondering, both curious and skeptical, keep your eyes glued to the screen. Why? Because in today's video, Enigmatic Echoes and the fearless admin here will decode with you a series of mysteries about aliens, strange signs, and stories that make the whole world frown. Are you ready now? If so, fasten your seatbelt.
let's embark on our journey into outer space right away. Many of you hearing the title must have been startled and asked,
Huh, a real skull? A skull on Mars? Is this admin telling a sci-fi story?
oh no, it's not a movie. This case is really making the online community,
Especially UFO and alien enthusiasts, restless.
Here's the story. With increasingly advanced modern technology,
Spacecraft like NASA's Curiosity have become familiar with the Martian surface.
every grain of sand, every rock is continuously photographed by it, like an entertainment news reporter.
But the key point isn't the number of photos taken.
But the painstaking task of scrutinizing each photo.
Then recently, people discovered a NASA photo taken back in 2012. And oh my, and it was a strange object, exactly like a skull.
No exaggeration, at first glance it immediately gives off an alien vibe, especially the group Paranormal Crucible that specializes in investigating mysterious and
Boldly claimed that this is exactly a skull, and clearly not from Earth humans. They even compared its shape to Bigfoot. For those who don't know, Bigfoot is a half-human, half-ape creature. Has heard of it but no one.
In recent years, UFO hunters have declared discovering all sorts of other strange things on Mars.
Like dinosaur-like skeletons, prehistoric tools, building ruins.
And even shapes resembling giant mice, crab bears, like an alien market.
But do you know what's interesting?
NASA remains silent as a sheep, neither confirming nor denying, letting everyone guess left and right like playing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire without official answers.
What about traditional scientists? They say most of those images are due to visual effects. That effect is called pareidolia, when you see familiar shapes in clouds, water stains, or rocks on the red planet. Sounds reasonable, right? But why exactly a skull shape? Why shapes resembling intelligent creatures? Honestly, reason says no, but the heart whispers. What if it's real? Everything becomes chaotic. In your opinion, what is that strange object? Is it living proof of alien existence? Or just an insensate rock that coincidentally resembles human imagination? Please comment your opinion below. UFO visits school in Africa. Incidents of aliens appearing and disappearing suddenly like a strange wind.
For a long time, these stories have often been considered just, but did you know, there's an event so strange that even the scientific community was baffled.
Occurring in a place no one expected. That is a small school in the African countryside.
The story unfolds as follows. On September 16, 1994, at a school named Area, located in the fields of Zimbabwe.
20 kilometers from
For the capital Harare, the teachers were busy eating in a room.
Meanwhile,
The children took advantage of recess, running out to the yard to play as usual.
but that day was anything but normal.
While the children were jumping rope, playing soccer, and snacking, suddenly the world fell silent. Then a group of students looked up and saw a strange disc-shaped object, shiny as if silver-plated, hovering in the air. Sounds like a movie, right?
But wait, this story is even more thrilling than a movie.
Because one of those flying saucers landed right in the field in the school.
And from it emerged several small beings with big eyes, dressed in black like ninjas, without masks. Know about you, but I.
Of course, it's understandable that some students panicked and ran away at
But there were also braver ones who stayed to observe, truly daring. And these very children later recounted that those beings didn't speak, but transmitted thoughts directly into their heads, like telepathy. But what startled people the most was the content the aliens conveyed,
which was a warning about the environment.
Essentially, if humans continue to destroy Earth, the end is inevitable sooner or later.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Like a message from Environmental Protection Organization.
But remember, this was in 1994. In a remote place where children had never been taught about climate change or global pollution. So, were those children making it up? If they were, who was pulling the strings behind it, or was it collective imagination? Some say children can imagine. That's hard to say it.
Not to mention, this incident made the academic community unable to ignore it. That's why Professor John Ack, a renowned psychologist from Harvard University, flew there personally to investigate. He interviewed each student, recorded audio, film, and analyzed their expressions and behaviors.
The conclusion was that the children believed what they saw and showed no signs of lying or collective delusion.
Then the story gradually faded into oblivion over time, and to this day, no one has explained it.
Was it a real UFO? Or something else? Was it aliens?
Or just the imagination of a group of students suffering from heat stroke at noon?
What do you think about this event? Do you believe that extraterrestrial life once visited us right in the schoolyard? To deliver a warning message, gentle yet profound? Please leave your opinion below. Who knows, maybe you'll be the one to discover something even more interesting than UFOs. UFO still contains alien bodies in Russia. Let me ask honestly, is there anyone among you watching this video
who has ever imagined themselves driving an excavator mining, so you accidentally dug up a UFO? Oh my, this scene is just like in Hollywood movies, right?
But this time it's
Not in Finland, but in cold Russia. Something that seemed only possible in sci-fi scripts happened 100% for real.
The story began with a group of miners
From the Kuzbass Reservoir Company. Just hearing the name already makes you tired, doesn't it?
At that time, they were working in a remote area of the Volgograd region. Climb mountains.
Suddenly they dug up a strange object, lying 40 meters deep underground.
Sounds simple like digging up a big rock.
But no, this thing is round like a tray, about 1.2 meters in diameter, weighing about 200 kilograms.
And covered with a metal layer called tungsten. For those who don't know, tungsten is super durable, super heat-resistant material.
Commonly used in military technology or spacecraft manufacturing.
To be blunt, it's not used for making everyday pots and pans.
The most conscientious excavator driver of the year, Boris Lasso,
was the first to discover this strange disc.
He said it's very special, very large and hard to recognize because it was buried so deep.
His colleague,
Arthur Prestiak, said there were actually two similar objects.
But the first one was pulled too hard and shattered into pieces like crushed rice paper.
Luckily the second one remained intact, otherwise we'd only have slow motion clips replaying.
And no one would know what shape it really was. Oh my god, it. Maybe even containing alien bodies inside.
The other side was more sober, scratching their heads saying,
"Oh, it does look like old-fashioned millstones, but why buried 40 meters deep? Who buried it so skillfully?" What about the conspiracy theory side Security 10? Of course they couldn't sit still. immediately posting detailed clips from A to Z. They even speculated that this object looks intentionally manufactured.
Not naturally having the shape of a flying saucer.
What do you think it is? It seems like an ancient structure that was buried.
Or genuine goods from another planet that fell to Earth thousands of years ago. If it's just rock, why does it have a tungsten layer, a metal not castable in every era? Then why does it so closely resemble a flying saucer shape, and located where no one could accidentally hide it?
What's inside that object? Are there really alien bodies?
Some believe, some dismiss it as nonsense like noodles without fish sauce, but cannot deny. This object is real, the images are real,
and it's in the hands of ordinary miners.
Not scientists or the military.
I wonder what you think about the images of that object, and those unanswered questions. Personally, I believe this might be the first clue about extraterrestrial life.
Anyone who thinks like me, raise your hand and wave hello.
Dreaming of aliens in Texas, USA. Would you believe me when I say,
aliens were once properly buried on American soil?
Properly, with tombstones, ceremonies, and even neighbor witnesses. Sounds a bit off, doesn't it? But this strange story really happened in 1897. That is, even before the Wright brothers invented the airplane.
At that time, there were no spaceships, no Elon Musk, but there was a UFO crash recorded by the contemporary press. Scary, isn't it? Scary, is it?
The story begins in a small town called
Aurora, in the state of Texas, USA.
This town is so small that if you blink while passing through, you'll miss it without even realizing. But on April 15, 1897,
Aurora suddenly became the center of one of the most controversial histories of the 19th century. According to the Dallas Morning News at the time, that morning, the residents were farming, planting corn, herding chickens as on any normal day, when a strange object suddenly appeared in the sky.
It hovered, staggering as if drunk. Then abruptly crashed straight into a windmill on Judge Proctor's property.
Yes, an unexpected and unplanned collision. The explosion shattered the windmill, sending debris flying everywhere, causing chaos throughout the town.
But what shocked people more than the explosion was what lay in the wreckage.
According to accounts from many witnesses at the time,
inside the mangled flying saucer was a small body,
with a shape completely unlike a human. No hair, no beard, grayish skin, large eyes.
Teens have Googled to look up what. They unanimously called that creature an alien or a being from distant stars.
Unclear whether out of mourning or belief that it was a truly intelligent being.
The residents held a solemn funeral for that unfortunate alien friend in the Aurora cemetery.
There was a proper tombstone, though it has now disappeared without a trace.
While the spacecraft debris was collected and dumped into an old well nearby.
Sort of like cleaning house and hiding something strange they didn't know where to put.
Since then, the once peaceful town of Aurora became bustling with curious visitors.
Some said it was nonsense, just an old-timey publicity stunt. But there were also many witnesses at the time who claimed to have seen the body with their own eyes, seen the flying saucer, even smelled the pungent odor of burnt metal lingering in the wind after the explosion. Over 100 years have passed, the story remains an unsolved mystery. Some dug up the old well to verify, some groups wanted to excavate the grave for evidence. But due to legal and ethical reasons, everything quieted down. The secret still lies buried under Texas soil.
So what do you think? Was it an organized prank by the Aurora villagers to boost the economy? Or was it the first evidence of an alien visit forgotten by history? Have you ever thought that a big city like Los Angeles, home to Hollywood lights, luxurious beaches, suddenly lost all power, anti-aircraft guns booming all night, searchlights sweeping the sky brightly, all because of an unidentified flying object? That's not a science fiction movie scene, but a real event that happened in February 1942. People call it the Battle of Los Angeles, or in today's internet slang, the most classic UFO encounter ever recorded in the US. It all started after America was still reeling from the Pearl Harbor bombing. The public psychology at the time was panicked, fearing another attack. And on the night of February 24, 1942, the unbelievable happened.
Around 2 a.m., the U.S. anti-aircraft radar system detected a strange signal believed to be an unidentified flying object. About 160 kilometers from Los Angeles, a red alert was immediately activated. The entire city plunged into darkness, not due to a power outage but a full blackout ordered by the military to avoid detection by the unknown entity.
And then, the sky of Los Angeles lit up with over 20 giant searchlights, piercing through the clouds.
The sound of anti-aircraft fire echoed through the sky, with over 1,400 rounds of 76mm and 37mm shells fired. It was an explosive spectacle that shook the city, making both citizens and the press feel like they were watching a live-action war movie.
But strangely enough, despite such massive explosions and heavy firing, no aircraft wreckage was found. No bodies, no debris, no evidence at all. Only 10 tons of shrapnel fell on civilian homes, causing 8 innocent deaths, mostly from shrapnel or shot-induced strokes. So, what exactly were the Americans shooting at? The military later excused it as a false alarm, possibly a weather balloon, or due to poor weather and visibility causing a misidentification. That might sound reasonable, if not for dozens of witnesses claiming to have seen glowing objects maneuvering in the sky, dodging shells with extreme agility. From here, the theory of aliens began to emerge.
Some conspiracy theories suggest 2 flying saucers were hit, one crashing in the San Bernardino Mountains, the other falling into the ocean and being recovered by the military.
But as usual, there's no concrete evidence, only rumors and hearsay. But you know what? The famous photo capturing the moment the sky was lit by searchlights with a bright spot in the middle. To this day, it remains one of the most analyzed images when UFOs are discussed. That's due to light editing, others insisted.
But a series of questions arise. If it was an enemy aircraft, why did no one claim responsibility? If it was a balloon, why was no wreckage found? And if it was a real UFO, why did the aliens come here? Where did they go?
Even now, this strange battle event remains an unsolved mystery. The military remains silent, researchers are divided in debate, and the people of Los Angeles that year only know they shot at something that to this day no one knows what it was.
So, in your opinion, was it the US shooting at nothing, or did aliens really fly by that night and get caught in the crossfire? Comment below right away. Choose your side. Team UFO invasion, or team blind firing and missing everything.
The bizarre alien skulls that left scientists stunned. Are aliens real or just a story to scare kids into going to bed early? The question sounds like a joke, but if you see the deformed skulls excavated from all over the world, elongated like bananas, dented as if crushed, or even lacking a mouth, you'll start to wonder whether there exists a species that once lived alongside us, but wasn't human. Now, let me take you on a world tour to explore these skulls that have left science scratching their heads without a satisfactory explanation. We about to hear might shake the beliefs you. First, Peru, the land of ancient mysteries. Here, in 1928, archaeologists unearthed over 300 Paracas skulls. But these aren't your ordinary Halloween movie skulls. These skulls are abnormally elongated, bulging at the back, just like the depictions of aliens in Hollywood films. At first, you might think it's due to head binding in childhood, right? But no, when researchers analyzed them closely, they discovered the Paracas skulls are 25% larger and 60% heavier than normal human skulls, with bone structures not resembling artificial deformation. So, who are these? Ancient people? Mutants? Or travelers from another planet who got lost here? What about Russia? Equally mysterious.
In 2015, in Челябинsk province, scientists found an extremely elongated skull in the ground, believed to be from a woman who lived about 2,000 years ago.
But its shape is like wearing an oversized helmet, stretched back as if saying no helmet, no ride.
Some say, oh, ancient people often bound their heads, what's strange about that? But others argue, what kind of, not to mention, in Chile, things get even more unbelievable.
In 2013, a tiny alien skeleton was discovered.
It resembles a human but is only 15.2 centimeters tall.
Small as a water bottle, with a strange face and a proportionate body, leading many to call it the mini-alien. But DNA tests showed it was human, specifically a little girl with genetic mutations. A tragic and unbelievable story, as it's still unclear who she was, how she lived, and why she had that shape. And what about the mysterious hole in the bison skull in Siberia?
A perfect round hole was discovered through the skull of a creature believed to have lived 30,000 years ago. The question is, who at that time possessed the weapon capable of shooting through the skull, creating such a perfect hole?
Could it be the work of a civilization far more advanced than ours? Then there's the skull in Bulgaria,
Known as the mysterious Radapi skull.
This skull weighs 250 grams but has 6 holes of unknown purpose and no mouth.
The eye sockets are very large, as if the creature lived in darkness. No one knows what it ate or how it communicated. In fact, it might not have needed to eat or speak at all.
And finally,
The name that has stunned the archaeological community for years is the sealet skull. Excavated in Denmark, this skull has eye sockets twice the size of normal humans, outmatching any human species from the Stone Age to modern times.
the estimated age is around 1200 BC, 1280 BC.
But the strange thing is that there has never been any documentation describing creatures with such appearance living in that area.
So ultimately, is this evidence of aliens? Or just a strange coincidence of genetics and evolution? What about you? Which skull do you think is the scariest? And if you had to face the owner of one of those skulls coming back to life right now? T breathe? As for me, I. T run, I. Dear friends, the more we learn about aliens, the more we realize.
We're like children sitting under the horizon looking out at the vast universe without knowing where it ends.
Strange objects floating in the sky, bizarre skulls, unsolved mysteries. All seem to be whispering something to us,
but refuse to speak clearly.
Could there be a civilization out there quietly observing us? Or is it all just a play of imagination and beliefs not yet explained by science? Tell me, which side are you on? Believe that UFOs are real, or believe they're just astronomical coincidences? Leave your opinion right below. What if aliens are reading your comments? Don't forget to give a gentle light to the universe.
Click subscribe so you don't miss the next flight in the journey of exploring mysterious things. Though creepy but incredibly fascinating.
For now,
let's put aside the conspiracy theories. See you in the next videos. Subscribe to the Gian channel so you don't miss exciting videos.